Hey folks, I'm Oliver White of Ground-Based Space. Yes, this is me. And yesterday I was lucky enough to sit down with Jeromy Grimmett, CEO and founder of Rogue Space Systems. We talked a little bit about who Rogue Space Systems are, what they do and what their aspirations are, and even a little on Lego. Just one thing before we get started though, this camera that you can see me on now would not work yesterday on the Zoom call, so I look like potato quality. But either way, let's jump in. Hey folks, I'm Oliver White of Ground-Based Space, and joining me today is Mr. Jeromy Grimmett, founder and CEO of Rogue Space Systems Corporation. Morning, Jeromy, and thank you very, very much for being here.
Hey, Oliver, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm just really sorry it's taken us so long to get this together, but thank you so much for having me.
I don't mind. I'm just happy that you're here. So.
Glad to be here.
Right, I'll just jump in with a few questions then.
Sure, sounds good.
So, just to start things off, I was wondering if you could just tell us a little about Rogue Space, who you guys are, and what drives you, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Rogue Space Systems, we develop technologies to deliver services in space. So. Specifically, we're designing and engineering a generation of orbital robots to go and service other satellites, deliver fuel, transport, move things around in space, pick up space debris, perform inspections, observations, things like that. We've got an amazing team of people. From all walks of space, aerospace, and business, all contributing. And our driving force behind Rogue is that we really focus on building communities and building a team to work on something that's bigger and greater than ourselves, which is this effort inside of the space industry and putting ourselves, into space through our robots.
That's cool. Yeah, I know from watching other videos of yours and having a good look on the website and things that you guys kind of started out with a view to tackling space debris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, space debris is something I feel strongly about. My latest video is a bit of a rant about space debris, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's cool to see a company like yours moving forward and developing stuff that is going to help, deal with that, because honestly, stuff is being done. So.
Yeah, space debris is a tough issue. The thing with space is, there's a lot of it, right? But I think just yesterday or day before there was an announcement. The previous founder of OneWeb is talking about putting like 100 or 300,000 small satellites up in space that are going to capture space debris. And it's like, well, wait a minute, you're going to put 300,000 small satellites into space to capture space debris. Yep. I'm just, it's like, okay, I mean, it's cool. And I mean, obviously you've got, it's fantastic. He's bringing recognition and acknowledgement of an issue that's pretty serious, but I'm scratching my head saying you're going to put 300,000 more objects into low Earth orbit to help deal with the hundreds of thousands of objects that I don't know. It's just I suppose there's a chicken and egg there that I'm just not seeing. So
a little bit like tackling fire by adding more fire. But
yeah, I mean, there's a certain way that, you know, and I mean, there are backfires. You can light a backfire. I mean, sure, you can fight some fires with fire, but in this case, I don't know. I guess I need to really understand how it's all going to work before I could really say anything. But 300,000 small sats, that's a lot of mass. That's a lot of material.
Yeah, it was an interesting announcement, to say the least.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so.
I'm quite a big fan of your various Orbot designs. I've had a real good look at all of them, and I've got to say, Fred, I don't know why, but Fred is my favorite of your Orbots.
Fred's cool, man. Fred's cool. Yeah, he's cool. The Space Force guys really like Fred. They really like the way he looks. I mean, come on, he's got wing, he's got solar panel wing looking things, and he's got these robot arms. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Come on, it's okay to nerd out on him a little bit. You know, it's cool.
Probably the most robotic looking of them all. You know.
Yeah.
I think that probably helps him a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things that we're trying to do with Rogue is, what you have to understand about space is that, so for example, okay, so let's take this pen for example, okay? If I wanted to send this pen to space, okay, it wouldn't make it to space, okay? Like if we look at it a real strict way, right? You want to send this pen to space, you wouldn't send this to space. So they solved the problem in Russia by sending the guy up with a pencil, okay? instead of engineering a pen that would work in space. But it also comes down to the mass. So whenever you look at this, you don't need this lid, you don't need the click, you don't need the spring, you don't need the grippers, you don't need any of that stuff. The only thing you need for it to actually work is going to be the pencil part of it, okay? Well, this does not look very cool, but this, this can look really cool. So what we're on the path to do as we grow is we want to really excite the imagination of what space robots can be, and we're trying to start incorporating some of that into some of our designs. And Fred is one of those things where, I mean, it looks like an insect. It looks kind of cool, but going forward, we're going to be doing some more interesting things to make the spacecraft look like something maybe you'd see at a sci-fi movie. It's not just simply for the aesthetics, but also the functionality. Can we garner more functionality through the aesthetics that we're creating? So, we want to have some fun with it. It doesn't always have to be so utilitarian.
That's awesome. And it kind of leads to this next question. So obviously Fred can help move satellites around and other objects and
right,
move them to different orbits, that kind of thing. But I was wondering, is there any plans for Fred to assist with deorbiting or
absolutely,
that kind of thing? Yeah. Or will you is there any plans in the future to develop another Orbot that's specifically designed for end-of-life services, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the possibility that we would need to do something that's very specific to just dealing with capturing and removing debris. However, the design and engineering philosophy that we have here at Rogue is that we didn't want to lock the capability down to just one thing. we wanted to develop a platform that was dynamic and tremendously capable for multiple commercial and defense applications. And that's what you get with a Fred. That's what you get with a Lara, and some of the other programs we're starting to kind of to ideate on. We didn't want to just lock it in. Oh, this is just this one thing, and that's all it's going to do, because then you shut down revenue streams across the board. Well, they don't need me to remove anything. They just want us to go and inspect it. Okay, well, they just want us to go and move fuel from here to there. They want us to move or reorbit this, or they want us to carry that, or they want us to jiggle a solar panel or a thruster. We didn't want to just lock ourselves into, oh, we're just going to remove debris. Even though that's where we started, what we realized is the market needs more than just simply that. They need more than just debris. And I think that's one of the differentiators about Rogue and our model, is that we're not looking to solve just one problem. We're capable of solving a number of problems, which widens our revenue opportunities tremendously.
That's cool. Yeah, that leads on brilliantly to another thing that I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Your most recent bit of news that I've seen is from a couple of weeks back, where you've signed an exciting deal with Orbital Fab to create, and I quote, space service stations.
Yeah, that was one of our more clever ideas with Jeromy Shield, and he and I, we got to meet face to face over at Space Symposium last summer, and we had started kicking around the idea where we would position our orbital robots in close proximity to their gas stations. Well, if you have an inbound spacecraft that might need some help, or maybe they need a tow, or maybe they want to have their systems checked out, well, that's a prime opportunity for us. So whenever you pull up to a full service gas station, just like in the old days where you pull up to a Texaco, you got a bunch of guys come out, check out your car, spray, clean your windshield for you, check your oil, same basic concept. If we can have gas stations, why can't we have service stations? That's it.
It's almost starting to venture into that sci-fi territory kind of thing, and it's just got a real cool. Well, it feels like we're actually moving forward, and that's a really, it's always a cool thing. So. Yeah,
Jeromy and Daniel Faber over there. They are genuine visionaries for how they see the space economy coming together, and we're just really glad that they're willing to work with us, and they enjoy the technology that we're trying to put together. And we're not going to accomplish anything by staying stagnant and just continuing to do the same old things over and over. We got to get creative. We got to get, it's okay to bring the sci-fi into it. As long as it's sci-real, it's okay to bring some sci-fi ideas in, as long as the physics work, right? So yeah, I think it's going to be really amazing to see the evolution of how the service station kind of evolves. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so am I.
Another announcement from a little while back was that you've made an agreement with launch provider Firefly Aerospace to provide launches for the Orbots. Is there any rough ideas on when we could see the first launch of an Orbot with Firefly, or is that still a little while away?
Well, right now, Firefly is dealing with some paperwork that they got to get done. I love those guys at Firefly. I mean, if you look at their very first launch last year, they were running on 2 engines.
Yeah.
But they almost got there on their first shot. Okay. A lot of launch companies can't even get off the launch pad, much less run their rocket on 2 engines and still almost get to orbit. I mean, that was an impressive showing. And I know that I can't wait for their second launch. I'm actually going to go to the second one. The first one, I got invited to the first one. And unfortunately, it was just a conflict. I just could not get there. But I'm going to the second one because I think they're going to get there on the second one. And I'd like to be there with Tom and Eric and celebrate that victory with them. As far as putting Orbots into space, I can't tell you what happened, but it's good. It's good. We are still tracking to put an Orbot into space this year. I can't go into which one. There might be a little bit of change up that we're doing, but we're still targeting to get our first one up this year. Definitely, we're going to see at least 1 or 2 in 23. Maybe 1 more. I don't know, but definitely up to 2 next year. And then in 24, things will start getting really interesting.
Okay.
That's when I think we're going to start hitting a bit of a cadence. Depending on how things go, it could be that we start hitting a cadence next year. It's really going to. There's a lot of things that I got to check off, but we're not far away. It's going to be soon.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's exciting. You can probably see on my face. I get quite excited about it.
We're excited too, man.
Yeah. Another thing I really liked with the Orbots is I really like the personal touch with the names, because I know that the Orbots are all named after people that mean something to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like that. I think that's a really, really nice touch. And it's different, it's not some code name or something or abbreviation. It's just a really nice touch, a really nice personal thing. So.
Well, I mean, what we're doing is, one of our charters is to advance capability in space for humanity. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. And we don't, it kind of says it in the name, right? Rogue. We're not going to do every single thing the way everybody else has done it. We're like, why can't we make this more personal? Why can't we make it more real to someone in the people that want to follow us or and participate and build our community with us? So why can't we name our spacecraft after people we've cared about, and just add that little touch of humanity? That's really what it's all about, is kind of making it real and personal, and it's not all just machines and space. It's about the people that are involved within Rogue and building this together.
That's cool. I like that. Actually, this question I'm going to ask on the fly, but because I didn't write this one down, but it's occurred to me while we've been talking. So,
sure.
With the whole space service station thing, would you love to see, as much as I like the idea of it, so I'm, pretty sure you'll like the idea, but the idea of a space service station orbiting the moon, could that be a possibility? Helping.
Oh, of course.
Obviously,
yeah,
we're
of course.
Back to the moon, and more satellites up there. So,
yeah, they're already mapping out communication networks and wireless capability on for the moon. There's going to be movement in cislunar economy over the next 10 to 20 years. This is not a matter of if it's going to happen. This is just a matter of time. We're going to need way stations. We're going to need gravity rings like orbital assembly. We're going to need in-space construction. We're going to need human outposts. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when it's all going to start happening and who's going to make the first move. One of the things that I'm a little disappointed about is the NASA space station commercial plan that they've got, the commercial space station plan. I think the people at Axiom, or excuse me, is it Axiom? I'm trying to remember the
Axiom.
Space station.
Yeah, they're connected to the space station. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Those guys are phenomenal. They're brilliant. But I think it was Lockheed and Boeing or Northrop or something that also got their hands in it to build another space station. But all that is like space. It's ISS 2.0.
Yeah.
Or ISS 3.0, whatever you want to call it. That's all it is. Why didn't we go with a design that was pushing the limits? Why didn't we go with a small gravity ring? Why didn't we do something? We have the modules. We know how that works. But why didn't we do something further, that's more advanced? But look, I'm not a space station guy, so I could be totally off on it, but that's what I would have liked to have seen. I'd have liked to seen just this whole new concept, this whole new, push the edge of the envelope. Let's enough of this just staying back in the 20th century. Let's do something cool,
I agree. I'm a big fan of the inflatable spacecraft, and obviously Bigelow seemed to have folded or disappeared for now.
Yeah, that's a whole story into itself.
Exactly, yeah. But they were doing pretty well with it. Obviously, they've got beam up on the ISS and everything, but so I'd like to see more of a push with inflatable stuff. But obviously, we have got Boeing and Blue Origin and everyone working on the Orbital reef. I'm not sure how I feel with that because no offense to anyone, but Boeing and Blue Origin have been a little unreliable with certain aspects lately. So
yeah,
it's one of those things is, will it happen to the timescales that they're saying and that sort of,
I would really like to see a little bit more push to drive the bigger ideas to the smaller companies like Rogue or Orbital Assemblies or now I just don't know much about space station habitation or habitats, and I don't know enough about it. Frankly, inflatables kind of freak me out because if you look at the bullet hole that got put through the robot arm up there, I don't know, dude, that kind of freaks me out. It's like I'd at least like a little bit of armor between me and whatever the hell's coming at me. And with 300,000 satellites getting put into space by one company, I gotta tell you, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about being in a balloon, but that's just me.
That's very, very fair, yeah.
That's just me. I love the idea. It's an awesome concept.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure I'm your guy to go and get in that balloon. I'm not sure I'd fit in the balloon to start off with. So,
No, that's fair. Like, yeah, it's a. I'm kind of on the same level. I love the idea, but yeah, there is that whole thing of obviously there's a lot of layers in there and they're very thick, but you know, it's like you said, like you mentioned, holes in the robotic arm and everything, and you just wonder how that would survive in long term. It'd be
Yeah, I
interesting
mean,
if it does ever happen to Beam, because obviously it's only used as storage, so there's not a huge risk there with.
yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, look, put that inflatable at the end of a rail gun, and let's see what kind of damage we get, and then we can talk. You know, that's how I kind of see it. You know.
So going back to your Orbot,
Yeah.
is there any plans for any new Orbots that you might be able to give us a hint about or anything, or you know?
No. I can. I wish I could, but I can't.
So is that kind of a watch this space?
You gotta wait. You just gotta stay tuned. I mean, you gotta stay tuned. We've got some pretty neat things that we're working on. Right now, our focus is Lara. That is our primary focus right now. It's not to say that there might be something else brewing in the background, but Lara's the focus. Yeah, you'll just have to stay tuned. There's some interesting things that the team is working on. As a matter of fact, I was just trading some text messages and stuff today, and some really neat tech that they're putting together. It's just mind blowing, the stuff that they're putting together. It's like, really, we can do that. So yeah, I wish I could go into some of that stuff, but yeah, we gotta. Believe me, I'm the guy that wants to shout everything to the world. It's like, look at the cool stuff we're doing. But I can't do that. I'd get killed.
We don't want to get you in any trouble. So.
No, I get in so much trouble. So.
Fair enough. Well, okay. My last, just a little question.
Sure.
So. I'm a space nerd. I'm here talking to you today, and there's a lot of space nerds that
sure.
A lot of us like to have a little shelf of maybe our favourite spacecraft in model form or something,
Yeah.
Could we ever expect to see? I ask this of a lot of organisations and stuff, but could we ever expect to see models of the Orbots or anything? Because, like I said, Fred's a favourite, and I'd quite like a model of Fred.
Okay. It's funny you should ask. We were literally talking about this yesterday because we're doing Satellite 22 in March. I think it's in March. But we're going to be down in DC, and we've got a booth. And one of the things that we're putting together are a couple of models. Lara, we're hoping we will have a Lara, and it would be a life size, it'll be a real size model of it. It'll be just a model. It's not going to function. But we'll have a model of it. And yes, we are trying to put together a model of Fred. We literally talked about it last night. The issue that we have is that all of our engineers are so busy that getting the models into a form where we can 3D print them is really difficult because we just don't have the time. So I was tasked with trying to find someone that could actually help us get the models into a 3D printable format so we can start printing them out. And actually, now that you've kind of given me the idea, I think what we may do is put the 3D models out there for people to be able to print them. So if they wanted to print their own, they'd be able to do that. So yeah, I like that idea, actually. That's a good idea, Oliver. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to write that one down, actually. Make printable models available. That's a really good one.
There you go. So I'm glad I've given you something out of this as well.
Yeah, man. But that was something that we were coming up with, and we're also huge Lego fans. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there's actually a cup like right up there. There's a few Legos right there. We got Legos over here. I got Yoda's TIE Fighter right here. We got Legos all over the place. And one of the things we had thought about was building Lego versions of Laura and Fred. So we thought that would be kind of cool.
Lego's just started releasing sets based on Artemis and everything. So
yeah, they're doing some. Lego's done a great job of capturing that imagination, and I mean that. If I'm being really honest, I owe everything I've ever been able to do to Legos.
It's amazing how people say that.
I mean everything that I've been able to accomplish in my career has all been because Legos. It really sincerely has. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to build a couple of those Legos out of, or build a couple of the Orbots out of Legos. That would be a lot of fun.
That's another thing I look forward to seeing.
Yeah, a Lego set for each of them.
There you go.
So, as a matter of fact, Oliver is my son's name.
Oh, cool.
My youngest son's name is Oliver. Oliver Winston. Yeah, he's something else. He's a bit of a Lego master himself.
Really?
Yeah, he's something else.
Well, yeah. So, thank you very much for all of this. It's been really, really interesting talking to you.
Hey, it's great talking to you as well, Oliver. And no, it's no problem, man. And if there's anything else that you need, just let me know.
So, that was my interview with Jeromy Grimmett of Rogue Space Systems. Let me know if you enjoyed the interview down in the comments below, because who knows, there might just be some more coming. And if you really did enjoy that, then please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it all helps and I really, really do appreciate it. And with that, as always, I've been Oliver White of Ground-Based Space, and remember, keep looking up at the stars, because who knows, one day we might just meet each other up there. Take care, guys.